like 2 seconds.
All right, I am currently recording, so I am not going to call you guys by names. Online students, I'll just call you online students because that will be more fun that way. All right, so we determined that number one, the first one's going to be a parabola, the second one's going to be a line, and everybody should be graphing this line. Right. Any questions on graphing that line? We talked about the y-intercept. It should be going up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. You need to keep that pattern going all the way up the graph and all the way down the graph. Okay. All the way up, all the way down. Be very specific with your dots. Okay, we did this back in section 4.2. We have to find the what value first. From section 4.2, we have to find the x value first. Which x value? It has a special name. It's in the middle. Vertex. We got to find the vertex. How do we find the vertex? Yeah, opposite b over 2a, which in this case is opposite what? Opposite 2 over 2 times what? Okay, a is -1. So that's opposite 2 over opposite over -2. What's -2 over -2? 1. So you're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5. I don't know, depending on how many you need. You need to get them to touch. 0. Okay. What did we say is the easiest way to put these in? Do you guys remember? Use your what? Use your calculator. It is the easiest way. So I'm going to grab my calculator. My calculator does a beautiful job. I'm going to put my equation of my y equals. Was it -x squared? Was it plus 2x? What was at the end? Plus 1. Okay. I'm going to hit shift and graph. And I'm going to type those numbers in or scroll through. Online learners, if you have not yet, you need to hit shift and window. You need to make sure your independent is on ask. I'll say that again because I think it's that important. You need to hit shift and window, and you need to make sure your independent is on ask. And then hit shift and table, type in the numbers you want. So I think like -4. Oh, I'm not going to graph that. That's way too big. -3. I could probably get that. Let's screen share here. Okay, so what did -3 give me? -14. If you don't know how to do this, I mean this as kindly as I can, you will not pass your test. -7. So if you don't know how, please ask. -2. Study, watch videos. So it's either going to, your points, no, you're either going to get, it's either going to cross twice, or it's going to cross once, or it's not going to cross at all. So we have to kind of get a picture of what it looks like so that we can figure out how many times it's going to happen. And I'm just typing them in. I'm not going over this because we did this in 4.2. You don't know how to do this, you should really look at 4.2. This is just kind of a foundational skill for chapter 4. All right, so plug it. You can plug that stuff in by hand if you want. I am not going to do this problem because what I am noticing from my kids who do not come to my live Zoom meetings, they're only doing the problems that we do on the board. And I mean, I don't think some kids are even watching the notes. Maybe I'm wrong. I do think there are some, maybe it's just a small handful who are not even watching the notes. They're just mooching off what we do in class, which is not fair to the kids in class, which isn't fair to themselves, which isn't going to be productive on a test. So yeah, you gotta plot those points, use your calculator to get your points. You're gonna graph your straight line. And you're going to get a parabola. I'm not going to draw a pretty one because, again, I don't need people just taking the answers. It's got to do something. Let's see. Can I look over your shoulder? What your parabola looks like? So does it look like it crosses once? Okay. I'm not going to draw that because I don't want people just to take the answers. But you guys are going to get a parabola that only touches once somewhere. It's going to look something like that. It only touches it once. You guys need to make nice, pretty points. Okay? It's going to touch it once. The place where it touches is your solution. Please write your solution down. I'm going to pause the recording and I'm going to say the solution out loud so we can all double check with each other. If you guys are at home and you're like, that's not fair that she's not saying the solution out loud, take your X, plug it in both of your equations and verify. It's only going to cross once. That's a pretty big hint. That was a great question. I had a student just ask me if they graph it and they see where it crosses, can they stop the graph and not graph anymore? The answer is yes, as long as you are 100% certain it's only going to touch in that one spot. But if you graph it and it does this, you better not just stop there. You better also make sure you find the other one. But if you are 100% certain it's only going to touch once, you can stop. Great question. By the way, sometimes they don't touch at all and it's a no solution. All right, I'm going to pause my recording. On number 2, I'm hoping that you guys see this is the one that needs the XY chart again. And this one's the one that's a straight line. Please use your calculator to verify that you're doing your straight line right. So like if you're wondering, how do you use your calculator to verify your straight line? You go to your y equals and you type your equation in. You hit graph and you want to make sure that the picture you see on the graph, I don't know why that's being weird. You want to make sure the picture you're seeing on your graph matches your picture you're drawing on your line, on your graph. I'm just going to keep, you guys, in class, you guys are doing a fantastic job. So I'm going to keep talking, especially for those people who watch the recorded Zoom meeting or for anyone. Another amazing website is Desmos Calculator. Because this graphing calculator will graph anything for you. So if you have like y equals, what was this one? I think it was -2x, if I'm not mistaken. And was it, what after that? -2x was a +5. You guys can see Desmos is going to graph those for you. And you can even add another equation. Wait, why am I not just screen sharing this? I'm being dumb. I'm sorry. There we go. Thank you, though. So x squared minus x plus 3. I got to tell you, to my online learners, people who take the test at home or on the computer, it blows my mind that there is a website called Desmos Graphing Calculator, and I still get incorrect graphs. And you're allowed to use tools to your advantage. That blows my mind. There's absolutely no reason when you take a test at home that you should not be using your apps to double check your answers. So for example, in this particular equation, there's absolutely no reason that you should ever have an incorrect graph submitted to me. I hope that makes sense as to why. And if you guys look at Desmos Graphing Calculator. They tell you the intersections. All you need to do is zoom in. Oh my gosh, all you actually do is touch it. So clearly on number 2, everybody, we should have an answer of 1, 3 and an answer of -2 and 9. I can promise you kids, when I see this one on your homeworks, tons of students don't give me this -2, 9 because they don't take their graph far enough. Online users, online test takers, online quiz takers. If you do not provide me an XY chart, if you only put -2, 9, and 1, 3 as your solutions, I will not give you full credit. You have to know how to do it. Use your tools to check it. But even so, you should there's no reason to get problems like this incorrect. There's been a few concerns about the vertex on this particular problem on number 2. So just remember it's opposite B over 2A. So opposite B is positive 1 over 2 times A is 1. So that's 0.5. It's 1/2 or 0.5. So that goes in the middle. And then you surround it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, -1, -2, -3. That'll be good. That'll be what you need to put into your calculator to get your points correctly. Before we discuss number 3, let's make sure we clarify something on number 8. On number 8, A is 1, C is -1, B is missing, B is 0. So when you do opposite B over 2A, you do opposite 0 over 2 times who cares, because you will get 0 as your X value. 0 over anything is 0. So when you make your XY chart, make sure your middle number is 0. That's for number 8. All right, let's check out number 3, get it started. Okay, sure. Number 3, I want you to solve by algebra. Algebra is the only way that will always work. Graphing only works sometimes, remember, as we said in the notes. You must, what do you do since they both equal y? What do we do? Almost, we'll set it equal to 0, the second step. Do you guys remember the transitive property? If A equals B and B equals C, then A equals C. The long story short, guys, is that this green highlight, since it equals y, it also equals this green highlight. So we're going to write negative x squared minus 3x plus 2, pay attention, equals x plus 6. You must set them equal to each other and then set it equal to 0. There are plenty of these in the notes. How do we set this? I'm going to say this right now because I think this is not good. I still think we have kids who cannot set things equal to 0. It's okay. It just needs to get fixed. You have to be able to do that on the test. Okay? Let's get this equal to 0 as a group. And then you guys can solve it on your own. How do we get this equal to 0, guys? Good job. Put those in the correct spots. Should I put minus x here, or minus x here? Good, under the 3. The one that it matches. Should I put minus 6 here or minus 6 here? Under the 2, good. If they didn't have something to match, you still throw them over there. You just don't put it with anything. So you're going to have negative x squared. What do these make? Good. What do these make? Good. Once you get it equal to 0, how do we solve? Go back to chapter 4, section 7. No, you're not going to make an XY chart because that would be for graphing. You can factor it. It's just one choice. I would not encourage factoring all the time. What did I say in the notes works all the time? Use the quadratic formula. That's going to give you what? This whole entire quadratic formula is going to give you the value of what? It's going to give you x. Good. X is not enough. What else? So when you get a solution, it will go right here. It's going to give you the x value of your solution. How do you get y? Good. Good. Plug this into that or that. You suggested plugging it into which, why did you suggest that one? Because it's easy, much easier. You plugged it into both of them. I had one student plug it into both. Why did that help her? She got the same thing twice, which verified that she was correct. If she didn't get the same thing twice, there would have been an issue. All right, I'm going to pause the recording. Go ahead and complete that. I wanted to show everybody how I put these two equations on Desmos. I put the quadratic equation here. I put the linear equation here. And you guys can see when you do your work for number 3, when you do this work that we indicated on number 3, you need to get this answer of -2 for x and 4 for y. Again, anybody watching the recorded Zoom meeting, if you don't do your work and you simply write -2, 4, I'm going to be under the assumption that you don't know what you're doing and you therefore don't receive credit. All right, for those of you watching the recorded Zoom meeting, number 4, when you get to number 4, notice how I put the equations into Desmos so I know what I need to get as final answers. Final answer should be -3, -2, and 0, 1. If you get those answers without showing the appropriate work like you should, like exactly like number 3, you will not receive credit. You will have to do the exact same steps as number 3. Use your quadratic formula or factor if you like factoring. And then solve for x and y. Again, if you just write -3, -2, and 0, 1 as solutions, you cannot get credit. Please make sure you show the work for getting those 2 answers. So as you guys get closer to number 8, if you wanted to check it on Desmos, you could. You just type it in. You're going to have to use the y feature though. So you're going to do like y is less than -x squared minus 3x and add an expression, y is greater than x squared minus 1. So on number 8, like I know I have a couple of students right now working on number 8. And this is, again, especially for the people who take the online test, like this is something absolutely worthwhile for you to use. You're going to need an XY chart on this. If you don't have an XY chart, like you're not going to get credit for it. But you guys can see that this is what your graph should look like. So I have students right now working on number 8. So you can see there's what your answer should look like once you're done making your XY charts. Notice the broken lines and the shading. So your final answer is where it overlaps in this, whoopsie, how do I zoom in? In this area right here in the middle. So you should have 2 parabolas because you have 2 XY charts. You should have 2 broken lines and you should have shading 1 above, shading 1 below. The final answer is the double shaded region. When you guys get to number 5, you will have 2 separate answers. So you're going to set them equal to each other, and then you're going to set it equal to 0 very carefully. And then you're going to do your quadratic formula. And I use Desmos as a tool to check your final answers. You should have a final answer of -2 for x and 3 for x, and a final answer of 2 for y, and a final answer of 7 for y. Again, the steps, you're going to set them equal to each other. You will then set them equal to 0. You will then do the quadratic formula. The quadratic formula will give you the x values of -2 and 3. You will then plug in -2 and get a y value of 2. You will then plug in 3 and get a y value of 7. Just reiterating the fact that if you do not show the work and you only put the final answer, you will not receive credit. We're going to do number 6 on the board. For anybody interested, number 6 on the board. And we'll do it the whole way through. Do you mind sharing your screen? All right, here we go. Number 6. So zoom on in for me. Same steps we took in number 3. So because they both equal y, yep, you're going to set them equal to each other. Good. Get rid of the equals y in the front because we're just setting them equal to each other. I like what you had in the middle. I want them to equal each other. So put that equal sign back. Just get rid of y equals. There you go. Now, we have, like you told me earlier, we have to set this equal to 0. Good. Good. Good math. Good. That's going to be a plus 1x instead of a minus 1x. Good. Now, ready for the quadratic formula? Okay. So opposite b, plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac. What's c? Good. All over 2a. Good. And then grab your calculator. That's going to be -1 plus or minus. He is putting in the stuff inside the square root into his calculator. The stuff inside his square root into his calculator. Good. Hold on 1 second. Something's not right. I'm trying to figure it out. Can you zoom back down? Let me see the original. Is he okay? He's good. You're good. You're not doing anything wrong. I'm thinking of a different problem. You're okay. I'm sorry. He is splitting his 2 answers. They are perfect square roots. Good. Excellent job. That is fantastic. That is excellent. Everybody should be this good at the quadratic formula right now. This is excellent. So close. -2 over -6. -1 minus 1 is -2. -6 is positive 1/3. Drew me a favor, right? -2 over -6. Make sure you're okay with that. -2 over -6. And reduce that. There you go. Did that make more sense now? Okay. Okay. What you just found are your x values. Why don't you write the letter x beside those so you know those are your x values? Good. Now plug those in to find your y values. Neither equation is what I would call easy. So just pick one. Pick the second one. Pick the one with the 2. So plug 0 in to that x. So 2 times, yes, 0 squared. That is exactly what I want to see. If you guys are looking for like, what is she looking for work-wise? Like, what should I be showing on my work? Exactly what he's doing. This is superb work. Excellent job. Absolutely nothing wrong with anything he's done so far. Now, this answer is extremely ugly, okay? Do not be a moocher, please. Plug this into your own calculator. Practice it. If you don't practice it now, practicing it, doing it the first time on the test is not a good time. Wait, hit math, enter on that. You know how I am with fractions. Because I assume it was a super ugly decimal. Yeah. Good. Zero, comma. What'd you get when you plugged in zero? And what'd you get when you plugged in the other one? Yes. That was perfect. Do that 3 more times and you're done. Good job. Really good job. That's all you got to do. It was really good. There's nothing. Do you want to do number 7? We can be nice or we can be mean. Do you want to do numbers? Does anybody want to do that? Was really good. Does anybody want to do number? Did you do 7? Yeah. 7? Yeah. Share your screen. Come on, let's be nice. I feel like my recording, I've been really mean in my recording, so I feel like you want to be nice or should we stop our recording? They should be able to do it on their own. Don't be mean. That's what he said. Don't be mean. Do you want to be mean? I guess he says, I guess. Yeah. Oh, you didn't use a broken line. And you didn't do anything wrong.
But like, it's like comfortable.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And it's not.
Just call me about
Hey, am I still recording? You guys can't say each other's names out loud. Let's check out your side.
I'm like,
Oh, here it is.
God, you're cooking.
Right here. B is 0.
That's how good I am.
I tried.
Thank you.
Waiting on you, bud. Trust me. If people haven't stopped, if the people haven't stopped listening to if they have stopped listening to the recorded Zoom, man, that would be such a shame. I'm not sure.
I'll be honest. I forgot how to do
Well, join the Zoom. No, you stay put. That is not 6 feet.
Oh, I'm trying.
You're wasting time. He
I
said.
was trying to
Yeah, no, you can't do that. I feel like I'm gonna sing the Jeopardy theme song. I think I should just have that as a file. He's got this. Here he comes. All right. This one is a special case if anybody is concerned. I know you're all wondering. Number 7 is a special case. I won't worry about it. Okay, set them equal to each other. Yes, we will finish this on time, just so everyone knows. Because it is a special case, this one will get finished on time. Okay, set it equal to 0. Okay, I understand what that means. I'm hoping everybody else does. Subtracting 2x, he's adding 1. Oh, you guys show your work. People aren't going to have any clue what's going on. Yeah. Can you show it? Can you write minus x squared minus 2x minus or plus 1? Yeah. I am that annoying if you're wondering.
That's why she did it.
Plus 1 equals. All right. Well, you don't need to do that, actually. Not equals. Get rid of that. Okay, now combine your like terms. What happens to the x squareds? Visually show it. Those turn into 0. Those turn into 0. Those turn into 2 equals. What? Yeah. Does 2 equal 0? So if you graph these, would they ever intersect? No. There you go. There's your special case. Have a great day, everybody. Yeah, there's no notes tonight, you guys. Just start working on the review. I also made an IXL account for each one of you If you feel like, hey, I'm really bad at simplifying square roots, if you really stink at a certain skill, I can give you some extra help in that area.